Welcome back to another WTF2Eat Instagram Live cooking demo. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jess. I am a registered dietitian, health coach, author, fitness instructor, and every month for a really long time now, I've been coming at you guys with a different recipe that I love to share in my personal and professional life. I focus a lot right now on easy, high protein, high fiber meals that are going to simplify the process of taking care of you. So today we are making one of my very favorites, egg roll in a bowl. I've been making this, oh my gosh, for years now, and I realized I never actually posted a formal recipe on here. So yeah, welcome. So as you can see, I'm just gonna show you my skillet. I have some ground turkey and mushrooms heating up. So what we're gonna do, super simple. This is like such a good, easy, meal prep friendly recipe that's good for breakfast, even lunch, dinner. I like to make this when I want a few batches I can have, or I'll make a big batch so I can have it for dinner for a few nights. So we're starting with a base of whatever oil you want. I love to do this with just some avocado oil, nice neutral oil, good source of monounsaturated fatty acids, which are great for heart health. You do some garlic, some ginger in there if you want. You can add some onions. I have a pound of ground turkey. Lean ground turkey is great for this. And then I sometimes will add some sliced shiitakes like I did today, just for a little extra umami flavor. So you let that cook until the turkey is nice and brown. And then we're going to add, I have here a mix of coleslaw mix and a little bit of broccoli slaw. So I love this because it adds antioxidants, fiber, important vitamins and minerals, and it's just a really convenient way to add some vegetables. As a dietitian, and I've been doing this work for almost 15 years, and I've found that vegetables can be one of the trickiest things for busy women to fit into their diets. Because, when you're so busy taking care of everybody else, it's so easy to just be like, oh, well, I'll just eat whatever's around. And it can feel just really overwhelming to figure out what to make. Vegetables can be super, super easy. It can also be really intimidating. So what I like about the coleslaw, the broccoli slaw, is that it's in such little pieces that it cooks up really quickly without much effort. So I'm going to show you again. So as you can see, I am mixing up the turkey and the slaw mix. I'm going to cover this for a sec, just to get that steam. Also speeds up the process of softening the vegetables. So I mentioned that cruciferous veggies like broccoli, cabbage, which is what we have in coleslaw. You also usually see like carrots in a coleslaw mix. Really good source of antioxidants, some of which have been shown to protect against certain cancers even. Lots of anti-inflammatory benefits happening. So super convenient way to up your nutrition. And the taste is really nice and mild. For people who are like, I don't know how I feel about, like really heavy duty vegetables, it's a great gateway vegetable. As you can probably hear, my voice is a little off. I have been sick on and off for the past 6 weeks. I was talking about this in my stories yesterday. I've just been through a lot. And so I've been really, really dialed in to easy, balanced meals that are not going to take too much effort to cook, make great leftovers. So that's why this has been super helpful. What I love about the whole egg roll in a bowl thing too is you can mix it up. When I first shared this recipe, I was actually working in a breast oncology clinic, and I was doing a lot of plant-based recipes in that role. And the first time I did an egg roll in a bowl recipe, we were doing, I can't remember if I was using tofu or tempeh, but you can use crumbled tofu, you can use crumbled tempeh for my plant-based friends out there. I personally, my favorite with this is ground turkey, just from a flavor perspective. Ground chicken works great as well. Both are nice, lean protein options. You're going to get like 22, 23-ish grams of protein per serving, so about 4 ounces of these. So super, super convenient. But that said, I've made this with ground beef. also delicious. Ground pork you could even do. So there's a lot of options. All right. So we're going to let this cook down a little bit. Put that lid on again. So I want to talk about spices for a sec, because one of the biggest barriers to vegetables is taste. I've found this a lot with people I've worked with over the years, that they want to be including more vegetables, but maybe traditionally they haven't enjoyed them. And that's a real thing. You know, I'm always of the mind that when we are eating healthy foods, they should also taste good. Like, something can be the healthiest food in the world, but if you don't enjoy it and aren't going to want to eat it, I don't think that that is necessarily healthy, right? I think it's important to make food enjoyable. So spices are a great way to do that. As I mentioned, when I was sauteing, so start with hot pan, cold oil, heat the avocado oil slightly, and then I usually would start with browning the meat first, then add a little bit of, 2-3 cloves, or more if you want. I often will add more of minced garlic, because that's adding a lot of flavor. Again, lots of important nutrients. And then this recipe is amazing with fresh ginger. So, you let that then saute for 30 seconds, a minute. It doesn't need as much time as the turkey before you add the veggies, but that just adds a whole other level. And both are just really warming, just really wonderful spices with all different kinds of health benefits backed up by research. So take advantage, right? And what I mean by that is, I think when we can take the low lift, the easy option to boost our health, why not? All right, so the veggies are starting to get a little bit soft here, which is great. I also love to add, if I have it, I'll also add sometimes additional ground garlic, dried garlic, dried ground ginger. This is great with some sesame seeds added. I love also all of the umami mushroom seasonings there are now. So I love to add those as well. So those are a nice thing to add in there, and definitely go heavy on the spices to your taste preference, of course. It's always easier to add more later. So start with a little bit. And then you can always add a little more. If you want a little heat, this is delicious with some red chili flakes. I'm skipping it today because my throat is still kind of scratchy, and I'm trying to avoid anything that's going to irritate it too much. But normally I love a little heat in this. So okay, we're going to mix that up. I'm going to let it steam another more. I went really heavy on the veggies for this because this batch is going to make about 3 to 4 servings. So, if you want to have a lot of veggies in here, definitely go heavy on the vegetables. This is also great with rice. So, okay, as a dietitian, people often expect me to say, you should only eat brown rice. I'm yes, brown rice is more nutrient dense than white rice. That is definitely true. It retains its naturally present fiber, B vitamins, iron, all that good stuff. But I think it's important to note that, again, a lot of it is about experience and honoring, what you grew up with that you maybe want to keep a part of your life. So I've worked with many people over the years who white rice is what they grew up with. That's their go-to. And I think that as long as you're getting the fiber from somewhere, so in this case, the vegetables, I think it can be okay to use whatever damn grain you want in this. I also happen to love this with cauliflower rice if you want to amp up the veggies even more. And something that I have found very useful for people who are working on increasing their vegetable intake, but it's kind of new, is to mix in some cauliflower rice, cooked cauliflower rice, or in this case you could cook it at the same time, with some regular rice, because that way you're still getting some of what you're used to, but you're also getting a little extra vegetables in there. So it's just one of the hack that I found useful in practice over the years. And then, okay, let's talk about sauces and condiments. So you can go super simple with this and just add some soy sauce or gluten-free tamari, or coconut aminos is another one that's popular with my gluten-free friends. So that's a nice way to add some umami flavor. If you are watching your sodium intake, I would say choose a lower sodium variety. They are available. You could also go with, like, if you want a little extra sweetness, you could do a teriyaki sauce on this, or you could just mix in a little bit of honey or maple. I also, if you are into heat, like, you could definitely add some hot honey in this. I've done that before and really enjoyed it. I also love doing, like, if you buy it's, what is it called? It's like dried garlic flakes and red pepper flakes in oil. Like, usually like mix of chili oil, and like there's some different seasonings in there. That is so good in this too. All right, so as you can see, well, in a sec you'll be able to see. One day I'll have like the fancy like camera over the stove thing. But so we have our turkey, our vegetable slaw, our spices, our sauce. Sometimes I will eat this plain as is. Again, sometimes it's great with rice, whether that's regular rice, cauliflower rice. I also love the legume-based like products, like the rices that you see that are made from chickpeas or zucchini beans, etc. Those are a great way to add additional protein and fiber. So experiment, see what you like. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of sesame oil for extra flavor. This is also delicious with like a creamy like miso tahini dressing mixed in at the end. So good. Lots of flavors happening. And again, this takes like 15 minutes to make, so it's super user-friendly, and it makes fantastic leftovers. So this is great if you're feeding 4 people all at once, or if you're feeding yourself 4 times. Great option. So yeah, if you try this recipe, I would love to hear your thoughts. So take a picture, post it on Instagram stories, tag me. I'm at Just Courting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this creation and how it worked out for you. And as always, guys, I'm so happy that you've been here joining me. If you have ideas for recipes you'd like to see in the future, send me a DM. I love hearing from you. So yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you're watching this on a replay, same goes there. I hope everything is good in your world, and we'll talk soon.